Assalamu alaikum, brother. Thank you for writing to us. I'm sorry to hear about your situation with your wife and your family. You've been married for 7 years, and your mom doesn't like your wife, and neither does your sister. I'm not quite sure why they don't like her, but that is really besides the point. The point is, brother, if you love your wife and you get along and you're close to her, and you have a happy marriage outside of all this, that is really the only thing that matters, right? Because you and your wife are married, and it's been 7 years, and inshallah, you'll be married for the rest of your lives. You're the one that has to live with your wife in love, joy, sickness, and in health, the ups and the downs. And it seems you both are doing a really beautiful job with your marriage. Sadly, your sister is interfering, it appears. Your sister and your wife had an argument on WhatsApp, and now the both of them probably is making it very difficult for you. You state that you're in the middle of their argument and you don't know what to do, and that your wife doesn't want you to talk to your sister because she feels like she hates your sister at this point. Brother, if it's been 7 years that your sister and your mom have been not really caring for your wife or treating her like family and being argumentative with her, it's kind of understandable that by now she's really tired of it. And I can imagine that, as she's your wife, when you got married, she probably was so excited and was hoping to be accepted by the family and loved by the family and treated like a daughter, and it turned ugly, and it turned the other way. They're very argumentative with your wife. Inshallah, brother, even though it's been 7 years, perhaps you can sit down with your mom and your sister and find out, what is it that they don't like about your wife? What is their problem with your wife? Um, Not that it's going to have a long term impact on your marriage, because your wife is your wife, and you know you love each other. However, it could have an impact on how they treat one another. Perhaps there was a misunderstanding in the beginning of the marriage that caused your mom and your sister to have an attitude. Perhaps something was missaid, misstated, or they got the wrong impression. Perhaps there's just some misunderstanding that could be cleared up. If that's the case, then that would benefit your marriage, because if a misunderstanding occurred and it's cleared up, apologies can be made. Your family and pray to Allah for forgiveness for the way they've treated her, and hopefully, inshallah, your wife can find it in her heart to forgive them and move forward and try to rebuild the family structure. With that said, um, I would kindly, inshallah, give that a try. Sitting down with your mom and your sister just to see what the results would be in the outcome. And please do make dua to Allah that Allah guides the conversation should you decide to do this, and that Allah makes it easy, and that Allah starts to heal your family. In regards to being in the middle of your sister and your wife's argument, there's really no reason for you to be in the middle of it, brother. You may want to, sit down with your wife and speak with her as well, and just tell her that, it's toxic and you don't really want to be involved, that you love her. Please do reassure her that you love her and that you support her, but, you don't want to be involved at this point as far as not speaking to your sister, but that you do love her, and that your wife does come first. I understand that you feel like you can't handle this. You feel helpless in a situation like this. Um, it's kind of like it's you against three people, right? Because the situation is involving your mom, who you love very much, and your sister, whom you love, and your wife. So yes, it does feel like it could be very difficult, and you may feel helpless, but actually in this situation, you could be the impetus to create a healing, especially if there was a misunderstanding at the beginning of the marriage. Or another way you could, bring the family together is by, sitting down and going through the Quran with them and pointing out different points and different standards and values that as Muslims we're supposed to have, right? We're supposed to love one another. Family's supposed to be merciful and kind and loving and not harsh, you know? Possibly just as, reading Quran with them or with your wife and then with your mom and your sister. That's not all at once, not the three of them together. That may not work in the beginning. But, privately with your wife, go through the Quran and discuss different points of how family's supposed to treat one another. And then, more importantly, with your mom and your sister, because they appear to be the ones um, who have instigated all of this. And it's been way too long. It's been 7 years. So, inshallah, brother, please do have a conversation with your mom and your sister to get to the root of why they don't like your wife. If there's any misunderstandings that occurred, please try to help rectify them. Also, sit down with your wife and, discuss her feelings about how she's been treated for the past 7 years. Because I can imagine it's hurt her very much. And just assure her of your love for her and your loyalty to her and your your mercy and your kindness as a husband for her, and try to be supportive as you can. And lastly, um, try to get with your mom and your sister and bring out points of the Quran that support, family and love and kindness and mercy and forgiveness. And, just reinstate that as Muslims, that's how we're supposed to conduct ourselves with family members, that what's going on is really haram and it needs to be stopped. And, the same with your wife. Read Quran with her and, make, the valid points for relationships with family. And also please make dua to Allah, pray to Allah for mercy and ease and resolution for the situation. Ask Allah to touch the hearts of your mom and your sister and your wife and help to bring them, together as a family, and to put the anger and the bickering aside, because it's sinful. It's kind of like backbiting and it's cruel, and Allah doesn't like that. So make dua that Allah helps in the healing process and that there's a resolution, that this can be resolved. In the meantime, try to stand your ground, brother, and you have a loss, so you're not helpless, okay? And inshallah, if you take, different steps to try to rectify this problem, again, that's gone on for way too long, perhaps there will be a positive outcome, and all this will be behind you. We wish you the best.